Greetings and welcome. This will be the 14th episode of RP MMO Radio Roleplay Generator. I will be one of your hosts, Ashen Phoenix, and of course, with me as always is the two ladies, Sib and Jazz. How's it going, gals?
Hello. Good.
Everyone enjoying we had 3 weeks off after recording the last one, so I expect there to be good roleplay stories. No excuses. No real life children or jobs or anything should have gotten in the way. That was a lot of time. So, what was that? I'm guessing that did that not happen the way I had planned?
Yeah.
No, huh?
I'm drawing a blank.
Well, clearly you guys are being way too responsible with your time in your lives. And it's very disappointing to all of us. So you guys doing all right? Hey, holding in there, Jazz?
Oh yeah. Life is busy, but the money's good-ish. So,
It's green.
Yeah, it's green. It pays bills.
It's electronic, even though I never see an actual dollar of it.
Yeah, I never actually see my money anymore. It's a little bit disconcerting. I remember being 16, 17, 18 years old when I was working 30 to 50 hours a week, and I would cash my check, and literally cash my check, and have the money in my hands to spend. Because nobody really had a bank account you used. I mean, you would put your money in there.
Well, credit cards
and you can't spend it. And then who had credit cards back then?
Debit cards were barely a thing. Who had that? Only rich people, that's who. Guess what I wasn't? One of them.
Yeah. The debit card really didn't come into really serious play until the 90s. And
when everything got better. Wait. Yeah. Damn it.
Yeah, nice try. And so now we don't even see the money we earn, but I am earning better money than I was, and we are paying bills. So thumbs up on that. Yeah,
and it's enough to get you playing games.
Yes, keeps my game fixated.
Yeah. How about you, Sib? How's things with you? I mean, I know, obviously, I live with you, but I still have to ask because otherwise it'd be awkward to only ask the one person that's not my wife and then not ask my wife how she's doing.
I'm good. Just hanging in there. I mean, playing games.
All right, good talk. Well, moving on.
I don't have a lot going on. Since
do you hit him much? Because I would.
I'm black and blue with love. Black and blue with love. So anyway,
what was it? He always told me to use a bag of oranges.
Bag of oranges.
Or a bag of potatoes.
Valencia oranges, in fact.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, oranges are a little more give. But yeah. So been up the same. I went out to California, threw my grandma into the ocean, literally.
You really ought to mention those were ashes.
Yeah.
Oh, well, is that important?
Is
that important to the story? Oh.
Yeah, that would be important. Otherwise, people visualize you picking up a little old lady and throwing her in the ocean, and somehow that's not quite as a sweet of a.
Well, there were seals. Is that? There actually was a neat part. I actually forgot to tell you this, Sib. I remembered it today. After we were getting ready we did that, and my mom and uncle threw out rose petals in the ocean. It was very pretty, very nice. We all cried, and then as we were getting ready to leave, we actually had a flyover. It was 3 not seagulls, but the bigger birds, and they land in the ocean. I don't know what they were called. But they threw in like a 3-man formation right over the spot we were just at and landed like about 100 yards past that. It's kind of cool. Even the captain's like, "Wow, look at that!" It's not I've done this a lot. And I don't ever see a flyover, which was neat. That's since nice. They were a military family. Grandpa was a Marine, and they got both buried at pretty close to the same coordinates, the longitude, latitude. So it was a lot. It was good. They're together again. 52 years together. It was the whole one went before the other, and it was 4 or 5 years later, and then the other went. So it was nice. But enough of the horrible stuff and throwing old people into the ocean. What have we been doing in our role play? Anyone want to go first?
Well, go ahead, Sib. You first.
I was gonna say mine. Kind of short and sweet. We did well. Did we do the RP with the human Floyd?
No,
well,
we
it was
actually
during our break. It was during our break.
We did it.
Talked about it.
Yeah,
we haven't got to talk about it.
No, we did that
Okay.
after the show that we had to pre-record. We did that the week before I left. Yep.
Okay. Well, I did that one, which was fun.
Which was super fun.
Yeah.
There was almost a fight. That was great.
It was.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Especially with my little orc. I love Volley.
Yeah, you guys can all look forward to seeing that. It's going to take him a while. He recorded the entire session. It was about what, 2 hours, 2.5. Honestly, I can't remember. It was so much fun. I really don't remember how long it was.
I don't remember either, but I think it was right around 2.
Yeah, but he's
it was fun. I wasn't bored. That's always a good sign.
Yeah. And then I did RP with the guild, and then I've done some RP with Ashen on Kinnick's.
Mm-hmm.
So just kind of, I went to the fight night one night. I didn't realize he was going to put that on there.
Well, it's...
But no, I've just kind of bounced around. This week's been kind of slow for me because I've had...
back to school, almost.
Well, that and allergies. The weather is killing me.
Here in Oklahoma, we are supposed to be in the mid-90s, and due to, I think, the third cold front is coming in tonight, we've been in the 80s, like low to mid-80s, which has been awesome. But with that, of course, is the shit that comes with cold fronts, allergies.
Yeah, and
has been bad.
I can tell when it's going to rain, and that's bad because my allergies get just horrible.
And also,
it's rained on and off.
Quick shout out to T the Khajiit. Hi, T. And
Hello.
Circe, of course. Sorry to some people in the chat.
That's okay. But no, that's mine. So I will give the floor to Jess.
Well, I worked on Roleplay. I had several. And of course, right now my mind just drew a complete blank. But like you said, it's been a couple weeks. So just a lot of character development and plot development for my character, Cial, who is my main right now, even though my guild leader Toon should be my main. I don't roleplay her as much. She's more my raiding Toon. Toon being the character I play. I know some people don't like that term. But Cial is my main.
Yeah. I know that's weird that some people get caught up on terms. I like character, I like Toon. I know what the hell you mean. I don't care.
Yeah. So I really worked a lot on that, and I had a lot of character development happen.
Oh, that's cool.
And
so it's anything noteworthy? You want any little details?
She's starting to be curious about intimate relations, not sex, but because that's obviously not a problem for Cial. But yeah, she's got that part down pat. Yeah, but she has always been. She doesn't understand intimacy and friendship,
like an actual relationship.
Ties that bind, being attached to someone. And one of the more interesting role plays was a conversation with her and this person about love and what love was. And she was like, well, I don't love anybody. And he was like, so you're not fond of anyone? And she's like, well, I like my Guar. I'd be very sad if something happened to him. She's like, well, that's love. No, it's not. Yes, it is.
What is love?
She was like, love makes you weak. And he was just like, but don't you love your Guar? And so it was a very interesting moment for her to struggle with that, because she's never really had a connection beyond the
she just doesn't know she has had it.
And she didn't really understand what it was. I think because she watches from a distance, because she's my little stalker, that she doesn't really get the nuances of relationships.
Yeah. That's cool. No.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm. No. Mm-hmm. No.
What?
No. I'm just being a jerk.
Yeah.
No.
What's new?
So I had 2 things when I got back. One of them was actually random. Sib was on her character Zabine, and her and Kenix, my other main character in ESO, have met, but she was weird, like kind of, and also rude
Zaven is weird.
and
Yeah.
standoffish. But she was bored, and I wasn't doing anything, so we just got together and we're role playing, and one thing led to another, and sure enough, they kind of ran off to a little one night tryst, which was very funny.
Hey.
Yeah.
Go you!
Yeah. Well, it's funny too, because we're married, but honestly, I have no intention of having those characters. She's got a lot of characters. It could have been any one of them, but for some reason, that one is like the way their conversation went. It's like, you know what? I mean, I wouldn't do it because I'm personally completely clueless when a woman is interested in a person, and so is she. Usually when a man is interested in her. When we were dating, she even wore one shirt just to try to test me. Unfortunately, my boob glancing skills were such that she never caught me, so she thought I was not interested in her whatsoever.
I did. I
was
went back to my
interested.
friends because my best friend helped me get ready for the date, and she said, "Wear this shirt, and if he likes you, you will definitely know." And I was like, "Okay." So I wear the shirt. It's a little low cut, and
Low cut.
And so I got back after the date, and I told her, I said, "He didn't look at me once like that." And she goes, "Then he's just friend material. He's not interested in you." And I was like, "Okay."
Little did she know I have mastered the skill of the cleavage glance. I have +10 to it. My eyes are like that of a ninja. You never know where I'm looking. I'm looking at them right now, and I'm not even looking in her direction. So anyway, the other one was my character, Dark Elf character Tarvala, is in the middle of her mastery, and I got to torture a Khajiit, which was fun. That was fun. But
it's no wonder people worry about us.
Yeah, I know, and it's not something I typically do, but she is an ordinator. That's and it was a escaped slave that had ambushed them, and they managed to capture him alive, and it was a lot of fun. The guy that's been doing it, Roger, he's the high ordinator that's above us for the ordination of war, which is what Tarvala and one other guy, Sio, is going into. So they're doing it together, trying to get. It was 400 slaves that escaped, 300 that survived the escape, and there's 200 that are former Dominion that are actually capable of fighting. And this town is supposedly kind of near the border, and they were worried that they were going to try to take it over and open it up to Dominion. We've since learned that, in fact, they are going to attack, but it was only about a quarter of their fighting force, while the other 250 were going to try to flee using that as cover. They were going to sacrifice themselves so their families and children and stuff could get away. But yeah, I got to do I call them Talbot lines. That Mark Tufo book we've spoken of before. He's very colorful, especially when someone threatens his family or anything like that. So I got to do the one of those things where we were torturing him. It wasn't actually the pain that got him. It was her bending over and looking him straight in the eyes and saying something along the lines of, "If I find out you're lying to me, I will take whatever god or Daedra you worship, will never want what is left of the tattered, twisted, shredded remains of your soul, and there will be nothing left to reunite in the afterlife with your loved ones and those that have gone before you. Do you understand me?" It's like, yeah. It was fun. But the end result was we found there was a mole. So we went to warn the town, like, "Oh, there's a mole. In the lordling that had lost his father when the Khajiit revolt started. He was gone without an escort." Fishy. You see where that's going. So they went out and looked for him, and naturally they find him well outside the boundaries of the walls, peeing in the woods. And so they sneak up on him as he goes underneath a bridge, and they can hear him talking with somebody else. And it turns out, we never thought to ask, that the leader of this Khajiit band is not a man, as we just assumed, because we're sexist like that. It was a woman.
Nice touch.
Yeah, it was a good. Sio and I didn't see it coming, and it was another one of those. They started saying it's too risky to be out here. Oh, my love, and then there was like heavy sucking sounds and the sounds of heavy petting and like this is all descriptions he used. So I did another one of those horrible things where she just after. I mean, these are dark elves in the strictest sense. So just it's like it'd be like coming across somebody doing an alley cat, as far as they're concerned. It's just
That's
awful.
just bad.
But so she came around the corner and was like, I can't handle this anymore, weapon in hand. How do you, it's like making out with an alley cat. Do you not even have standards? It's an abomination. I mean, of 6 nipples, do you even know which one to twist to get her going and purring, or do you just take a guess in the dark?
Oh my gosh!
And she said that out loud, and they were so shocked. And he, of course, started rolling. He broke character at that point. He's like, "Oh my god, dude!" And we captured him. Oh, I know, T. You played the Khajiit, but that's just how it is. Oh, yep, she's triggered. There we go. The Khajiit's triggered. It's okay. We'll get some catnip for her, and she'll be fine. She'll forget. But it's been a lot of fun. So, all right. That was my stories. Sorry it went a little long-winded, but a lot happened very quickly with 2 different characters, so. But
it's still fun to talk about.
Yeah. All right. So what we got in the news? Anyone want to go? I'll go first this time. I think you guys went first last time. Mine's rather short.
And
yeah, I'm on a roll. I may as well just go with it. And mine is the World of Warcraft is what it's related to. Their in-game currency is now worth more in real life than the Venezuelan dollar.
That's
very
disturbing.
Sad. Yeah. But at the time that this guy from the Bolivar is what it was, what was it? About 8,385 gold went for $1 from WoW, and the US dollar would only it would take $8,494 of the Bolivar to equal $1, which meant the gold that doesn't actually exist has more real world value. And in fact, it's actually doubled that. That was just at the time when he had done that, and that was July 14th. It has now since taken 12,197 bolivars to equal $1, which means the in-game WoW tokens and the gold are worth double that of the currency in US dollars to theirs.
Wow.
Way to go, Venezuela. You're really doing it good for your people. Which is actually very unfortunate because behind this, while it's an interesting story, is a lot of very hungry people and a lot of empty grocery stores.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So very sad, but also somewhat fascinating on a purely intellectual, I guess, level.
Yeah.
If you take all the heart and soul out of it, and you're just it's a neat story. Sorry about your children. So that's my story. What?
Oh my gosh. Nothing. You're just so soulless sometimes.
I am not. I'm German. When have the Germans ever done anything wrong? What? I can't take credit for that one. That was actually Chris Pratt said something like that on Parks and Recreation. Oh, the Germans. Yeah, the Germans. They've never done anything wrong. They could be the good guys. So what have you got, Jazz?
I was actually it actually happened recently, but we were talking. We have a Discord channel for our little group, and we were discussing hairstyles, particularly ethnic hairstyles, because most ethnic hairstyles in most games look absolutely abysmal. You get like
the fro.
You get the 70s fro and
cornrows.
Cornrows and some dreadlocks. There you go. That's their ethnic hairstyles.
Yeah. It's got
really
Jamaica
sad.
covered and the 1980s LA Lakers team.
Yeah, there we go. That's about it. So we were discussing that, and then I just did a search, and I was reading on it when you poked me about it, and I was like, this would make a good topic. So that's what I had been reading about in the news, was just that Guild Wars has come out with some new costumes and some new hairstyles, many of which are ethnic, which was a nice surprise. And they don't look half awful, which is a nice step in the right direction. Not great, but not awful, and that's a step in the right direction.
So here's the question: I'm just going to be completely politically incorrect here, but with black people, their hair is a certain style that theirs definitely, has those looks. What would other ethnicities, what individual styles would there be for Asians or Hispanics or I don't know, Russia? I have no idea.
Because each culture has their own kinds of hairstyles, and pretty much all MMOs, the only hairstyles that they have in there are rich white people named Janet who live in Boston. So they have the short, wispy hair and
top notch.
all
That's
the
a
hair
good one,
stuff.
seriously.
Yeah.
But that's old. They don't do that still. That's
but
outside.
they do here. Depends on
the man bun is that? What that
The teenagers are wearing it now. It looks so ridiculous. I want to reach out and pluck it off the top of their head.
Just wear your hair long, you damn hippie.
So, I mean, I understand you want to play a game and you want your character to look authentic for what you think that culture is going to be like. And in Japan, their hair is very long. Not all their hair, obviously, but a lot of their hair is very long
very
and
straight. Yeah, and
black.
And
it's also what's called I forget what Native Americans have it too, where it's not very bendy. It's not as fluffy and tiny.
Chris, Sib.
Yeah.
She's Cherokee, a lot of Cherokee.
They've got coarse hair.
It's very
coarse.
And it's
it's
so
very
when they wrap it around things and they put it up in styles and braids and things like that, it looks very different than if Janet from Boston does it. So
see, this is why I asked. I honestly would not have ever thought of any of that stuff because I'm a dude and I'm white and I don't really pay that much attention to my hair.
And
I wash it. Does that count?
Statistically, there are more of you than anyone else playing the MMOs, but there's more and more and more ethnic and women playing these games. We are Legion. So I like that they're finally starting to move into other cultures for style of dress and for hairstyles, so that people can express themselves better.
And let's go to the flip side of that. Final Fantasy XIV, when they brought out the very, very stereotypical Native American Indian garb.
Oh, God, really?
But the difference is they're Japanese, and to them, I guess that it is, they don't have that same sensitivity that we here in the States will. So, but they got a lot of flack for that one. Yeah, if you haven't seen that, look up Final Fantasy XIV Indian clothes. You'll see. I mean, it's straight out of something from the 70s. It's like the crying Indian on the side of the road kind of a thing.
No, I actually like those now.
Oh, I don't get.
And I didn't. I mean,
right? I don't get offended easily,
and
I don't care.
People get offended by it.
Right. It's one of those things is people that is the new world attire, and somebody put a link to it in the chat there if you want it, Jazz, on the Twitch stream. But no, I don't get offended by it. But a lot of people are like, it's really insensitive. But yeah, it's one of those things that I've always hated is when, as Jazz was calling them, rich white people get offended on behalf of another minority that's not actually offended themselves. Like, you can't be offended if they're...
I think that a lot of minorities have just kind of given up to the fact that they're just going to be ignored. It's not so much... No, they really aren't. But they're just
percentage. The vast majority. 10% is not a majority.
I'm not saying 10%.
No, but that I'm saying is for something like the Washington Redskins. It's about 10% of the Indian population thinks it's offensive. The rest of them just don't care. But it's stuff like that. Which, of course, I have to say that because my uncle is a lifelong Indian Redskins. There is a lot of stuff at the house we stayed at when we were in California.
Well, I can speak
better than
for
the Raiders.
A lot of the people here. That's not the case. It's a lot more
your
than
people
10%.
Don't count because they're Indians and they're not even real people. So, wait, crap! My white racism showing again. But anyway,
I know, Jess.
Let's move on.
Right? Yeah.
Maybe we should make that one of the polls we put up on the Facebook.
Nice.
No. What hairdo do you like?
Yeah, that is cool though that they're actually doing that other stuff. I just had to bring up that other one because it was a little far fetched. It was just so over the top. But they, I got to give it to them. They're like, well, we put all this work into it, so it's staying. Get over it. But let's see, what'd you have, Sib?
Mine is okay. Mine actually would be a good game for the trolls. Those people that love to heckle us while we're RPing.
Yeah.
It's a what is it? Comedy night is coming to Steam, and it's where you can actually take a try at being a stand-up comedian. And you can go head to head, or you can just do the lone wolf thing, but people can actually heckle you on this game. So I thought it was kind of funny. Looks like it's going to be
it's going to Steam, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's going to Steam. Oh, and my article, sorry, I'm so unprepared, was by Nathan Grayson, and it came from
Kotaku.
What?
Kotaku.com.
Oh, thank you.
I can see it in the link.
I'm like, I can't find it. Sometimes I swear. But it had a pseudo sequel, and I don't know if anybody tried it when it was on Xbox 360. It was an indie game, but
it sounds kind of neat that you
Ashen would be into.
Yeah, you get on there, you try it, especially for comedians, because I know that's a big thing with comedians these days. Is they the camera is their worst enemy. Filming, they're trying out new material in a comedy club, and of course some of your material is going to fall flat, like Jazz and I's conversation just a minute ago, and other stuff is going to be hilarious, like every time Jazz doesn't talk.
Oh my gosh!
I love you, but you know what I mean. So if somebody's there recording when you bomb because your material's brand new and you're trying it out and it's not fine tuned, and then uploads it, then of course you're on there, But a game like this, you could actually try out some shit like that and completely anonymously, and it might work out for the better for you because you could get some real feedback too, but you don't have to worry about someone either knowing who you are on stage, and even if they recorded it, you can, who's gonna be able to confirm it for real if you're using your Xbox name or some Steam online name. That's kind of cool, really.
Yeah, no, it is.
And anybody that likes to, wants to do stuff live or try out comedy or skits or, I don't know, crappy poetry, which if you do that, I'm going to make fun of you regardless of how well written it is, because it's poetry. And all poetry is boring.
That was mine. And it was just basically because I thought it would be funny. I mean, I know Ashen loves to make people laugh, and it made me think of him, but also trolls.
Yeah,
trolls and LARPing.
Yeah. We could
give him somewhere to go. Maybe
we could put Strafe in there. He'll finally have a place to feel at home with both his former self and Gormal.
Oh gosh! But no, that way the trolls aren't throwing mud at us when we're trying to RP up.
Yeah. No, that'll be interesting. It's definitely that's a game I think I would actually check out just to hear what other people do. Try it out yourself. Because if it makes me wonder if when they're heckling you, if that's just something that they're heckling you in the chat, because if they're talking over you, obviously you've got a dozen or more people that are listening just heckling over you, then of course nobody can hear anything.
No, yeah.
So I'm curious to see how that actually works out. But
and it is actually, it says it's coming out sometime this month, and the developers are currently looking for beta testers. So there you go, Ashen.
Oh, I gotta sign up for that. I'm gonna jump right on that.
Go run over there.
I'm filling out the form, right? Okay, and it's submitted.
Okay.
Not really, because I don't like beta testing stuff that much anymore. I used to really enjoy that in Game & Mo's and stuff, and I've just kind of not.
No. Let's move on from that topic real quick.
Not.
I know you and Jazz have got burned by that, so.
Oh, I was just saying, just in general,
Oh,
like
just
even
a-
when we beta test like actual expansions and stuff. I mean, it's kind of neat to see it early, but then once it comes out, you've got to play through all the content again, and it's not, it's a win lose or kind of thing at times. And I wasn't talking about EverQuest Next, which go suck a bag of dicks. What?
Oh my.
Okay. Let's move on.
All right,
Let's move
so
on.
before we hit our main topic, which will be part of a series that we're going to do on generating roleplay, but this will just be in sort of a general thing, not really so much events, more of just getting together with friends and different things we can do. We actually have a word from a new sponsor from Professor Scribbles McDiggles, and go ahead and get that set up here right now. Your friendly neighborhood gnome, Professor Scribble McDiggles here with an amazing new item for you and your friends to meet with your roleplay needs. And if you don't have friends, it will get you some cute ones, or handsome ones, or furry ones. I don't judge, because that's what friends are for. With my new invention, you will never again have to wonder about topics or reasons to get together in your favorite online game. I call it the Marvelous, Magnificent Original Roleplay Generator, or MMORPG. It comes pre-programmed with thousands of topics based on exhaustive input over dozens of your favorite MMO roleplay sessions from real players just like you. And it has learned as it went with my patent-pending almost intelligent technology, or AI for short, is like a machine that thinks almost, kind of like people. All you do is you push the button like so, and out comes a suggestion like banana hammock outdoor sleepovers? Okay, let's try again. Perhaps naked truth or dare? Or petting zoo with random furries? Oh dear. What? Why do all of these sound dirty? It's like the people the machine learned from only ever end up talking about things of a sexual nature. It's strange. Okay, one more. Let's try one more. Let's gather together and have a drink. Oh, there's a good one that said, and touch our private parts together. Oh, dear. Oh, come on. That one isn't even trying to be subtle. Fine, look, okay. It works. It isn't my fault. You people have issues, and it learned it badly. Can't you just kill some freaking vampires or something? Jeez. It's okay. You know what? Just buy the Marvelous, Magnificent Original Roleplay Generator today. I don't give a fuck. Can't believe these people, all that work, and it just devolves into some bloody gutter trash. Stupid humans. Yeah, that sounds like that'd be useful.
Way too accurate.
I just put my order in.
Yeah, seriously. That's going to sell like hotcakes.
Who doesn't love a sexy banana hammock party?
Yeah.
The bigger the banana, the larger the hammock.
Oh, stop.
Soviet Russia, hammock, where's you? So anyway, generating roleplay. It's basically, you logging in and you're not finding any roleplay. Well, make your own. Ta-da! All right, well, good episode, everybody. Given that it takes 2 or more people, of course, to roleplay, and if no one's doing it, that doesn't mean it can't happen. And maybe it just, sometimes when you log in, things are just people, are playing the game, which happens. It's cool. But just
especially
because
if there's like an expansion or something new that's come out. Yeah.
Or there just weren't, when a few people logged on, there weren't that many people on, so nothing was going on. But, there's no reason if you log on to roleplay that you can't take the initiative. Just because nobody else in your guild or your group of friends is doing it, take the initiative. There's nothing like, ask if, Sib's been doing this quite a bit lately. Ask if anyone wants to, or let your guild or friend or link shell group, whatever, know that you'll be in the tavern for a bit. I'll be there for the next half hour or so. And if anyone wants to happen by, then you can chat. That it really is almost that easy on a basic level. Just
and
to
I
put
kind of
yourself out
stole
there.
that idea from Jazz.
Yeah, she
because
does it all the
I
time.
know Jazz would always be in the tavern, so I was like, man, I'm gonna go start hanging out in the tavern so I can get some RP. And it's fun. You meet all kinds of people.
Yeah.
Or I should
Not
say,
always good, but
no, but there are some really good RPers that you
Yes,
just
there
have
are.
to step out of your box and say hi to.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Very true.
and if you're, it's a good way for one, especially if you're doing it out in the open, to meet new people like that. And I don't know how many times I've seen Jazz that she's in a guild or in Riften, and I know what she's doing if she's in Riften. She's not probably questing. It's very unlikely.
No.
So I'll bum over there and and bump into whatever character she might be on, or and if that's how Kenix and Zabine did, we were just like, yeah, I'm not doing anything. You want to do something? Sure, let's roleplay. And that's so we chatted for a good half hour to an hour before it's getting bedtime. So it's like, well, let's see where this goes. But it just takes that's really all it takes. And I know it's easy to say, but for some people it's not that easy to do. Usually it's a lot of times it's not just new people. A lot of people we know in roleplay are introverts. It's just a fact of life. A lot of people that play MMOs too, in a lot of ways, they're introverts. Or they're they're very shy. Some have low self-esteem, even though they probably shouldn't. Or they're just there and they're chill. But a lot of them.
It was hard for me at first because of the shyness, and I didn't want to sound
Stupid.
dumb. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it was hard, or actually type out sounding dumb, but it just takes a little while to get over it, because now I don't mind. I'll go sit at the tavern, and if somebody approaches me, fine. I'll do some emotes, and if I get somebody to talk to me, awesome. If I don't, I just sit there and emote until, I'm like, well, nobody's biting here. I'll move on to another place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's it like I said, a lot of times it's that easy. But if of course if no one bites, you can't take it personally. We'll be that here in a second. But just don't be too shy about it. A lot of people that are, if you're in a roleplay guild or you got roleplay friends, they're like that because they want to roleplay. Sometimes it takes just a little bit of a nudge, a little bit of a thing. Because most of them will drop whatever it is that they're actually doing to instantly jump on in almost any roleplay that starts to happen. I mean, whereas we're all playing ESO, because I know Jazz and I and Sib are actually still playing the game, like as the game as well, leveling up and everything. And I've actually surpassed a lot of people level-wise in the 3-year-old roleplay of the Servants. It's a roleplay guild that's been around for 3 years, and some of them have been there for a long time, and I've leveled up past them because all they do when they log in is roleplay. They almost don't even play the game hardly at all.
Yeah, I've noticed that. A lot of role players, particularly in ESO,
yeah, Tia, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, do not level their characters in game. It's all just RP, which I very much enjoy the game itself. So if I don't enjoy the game, I can't even RP there.
It does make it difficult, especially in
yeah.
between roleplay sessions. That's what I do in between, is I play the game. But like T, for example, she's been in there. She was one of the original. She's been in there since the beginning, so she's been playing it for 3 years now, and she's got a lot of characters, I'm pretty sure, but they're not all high level. I know that Tia, that I knew her originally on, her Khajiit, is still around, and I'm probably higher level than she is at this point, because when she logs in, all she'll do is roleplay. And she says, I wish I had time to play the game. I know. There is also that thing. It's either play the game with the time that you have and level a little bit, or play the game and roleplay a little bit. There is that time
that is
restriction
totally,
too.
yeah. I don't play the game as much as I'd like simply because I don't have time.
Yeah.
And I have to choose between role play and leveling. When my friends go into a zone, a lot of times I have to say, guys, I would love to, but I haven't RP'd in 2 days and I really would like to. So
Right.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah, even if it's just basic stuff sometimes. It's just, that goes back to that other episode where we did, what do you choose to do? But, you know, it's sometimes time is also a factor when it comes to playing the game versus roleplay. If you log in, it's because you've only got so much time to do your roleplay, and you can't, you know, unlike playing the game, which you can do something, you know, you could do a quest in half an hour. Knocking out a roleplay something with your friends takes usually more than that, you know.
Yeah, it's
half an hour, you're barely starting.
Yeah, most roleplay I've found really on average is 2 hours. I don't think you can really have anything significant in less than that.
Yeah.
So.
No, and one thing I notice, and I don't know if it's just me or if it happens to other people.
It's just you.
Shut up. When I log in, it's usually early in the evening, like let's say 6
Central.
And Central. Well, a lot of the RP doesn't really get going till like 9:30, and
no, it doesn't. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So I have to work, and so I can't stay up that late. So I get I'm like, bummer, because there's some good RP going on, and I have like an hour.
RP. Yeah.
Yeah, so, and I'm the type of person, I can't stay up late. So on my days off, I really enjoy just getting to see everything I miss throughout the week.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Tia said that she left once back, remember, before Tamriel 1, they had the VR levels. What was that? The veteran something levels. She got to VR 11 a few years ago just because she wanted to wear a particular hood, which for role players, clothing is the end game. If you're gonna get a role player to fucking level anything, it's because there's a sweet piece of something that they want to wear in role play involved.
Exactly. That's true.
That is why I leveled Vodka. She was level 30
true.
for 4 years until Triton, my husband, started dangling pretty armor in my face and look at this, if you just leveled, look. And so I started leveling because I wanted that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It drive me totally.
Yeah. So but you
now
know,
look at me.
Right. Now you're actually you're a raider. You got a raid tonight. Oh,
I know.
I'm so important. Oh, look at me. But, you know, the other thing too, if you put yourself out there for role play, if you ask and there's no bite, that it's okay. It's probably not you. I know, again, with the we're going on the aspect that a lot of people are introverts. I am myself. I know we're on a radio show, but I have the same problem as a lot of people when there's nothing going on, or there's friends that I might want to role play. I'm shy. I feel like if I ask them if they want to do something, that I'm pestering them. You know, even sometimes Jazz or Sib, and I'm friends with one and married to the other. So you know, it's just how some people are. You know, you don't ever want to interrupt people if they're doing something else, and of course you don't want to be rejected. Nobody likes that, but you just can't take it personally, you know. It's sometimes people are just busy, or they're, you know, they've got something getting ready, they're only online for a short bit, they've got something coming up, they're going to a movie, they've got dinner. Lately Game of Thrones is coming on. This is another one on Sunday every time. Can't do anything. Game of Thrones is going to be on. But
yeah, that's like when I'm not working or am working, but I work my normal shift, I'm usually home by 6. Roleplay doesn't start till 9. So I know I have a little time to level or do a zone or run around with my friends in some dungeon. But if I work until 8 or 9, I get into the game, I go RP because that's all I have left.
Right. Yeah. And the other thing too is, you know, because of course you can see in the guild window a lot. In most games these days, you can see where they're at, like in zone or dungeon wise, and you'll know what they're doing. So, but even if you see like a group of people, for one, don't feel bad that they're dungeoning without you. That just means that they probably had a group, you know, of people. But still, don't be afraid to ask, because either the ones that are doing it will be like, okay, hey, we're in a dungeon. As soon as we get done, that'll be awesome. Or not everybody's doing that. So you never know what happens. Don't ever just because it looks like everybody's busy, unless there's only 5 people on and you're the only one not in the dungeon. In which case, maybe say, hey, when you guys get done, would you like to role play? Because obviously they're probably not going to bang out right then and there. But it just never hurts to ask, and just don't if you get kind of brushed off, it does happen. Some people are AFK when you ask, and the text chat scrolls up. It's not always what most people think, which is they're just ignoring me.
Yeah.
Which it's people. That's always the first thing. Nobody likes me.
It's
Everybody
hard
hates
not
me.
to. I mean, especially like you said, with people who are introverts, and I'm really shy in person. I'm getting better, but I always worry that I don't want to bother people. I don't want to, like you said, when somebody says they're actually got something going on and they've got to leave the game, I always think, oh my God, they just don't want to talk to me. But I don't think that anymore.
It's only true in my case.
Really good. Yeah. And then I watch him stay in the game and just ignore me.
I just play another game on my computer, just like, I just didn't want to do anything with you.
You're such a turd.
I know, I'm mean. It's one of my lovable qualities and traits. That and my humility.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're so, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Humble?
Mm-hmm.
I know, it's my favorite thing about me.
Yeah.
But yeah, just don't think the worst.
It is really hard not to, but yeah, I mean, I've had to go because my son has a seizure or, something, and I have to zip away. And
or you get a phone call, or,
how many times I've had to just say quick AFK and I have to go, and then I log out, and then the next day I have a letter from someone going, did I upset you? Are you mad? And I was like, oh no, darling, my son had a seizure. I had to go.
That letter was probably from me.
Once it was, you're right.
Yeah.
But not in this case. But yeah.
I back when it was real bad.
Yeah. When I have to just go and I just got to go. And I don't always want to tell people because
it's
things are personable.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's not really that it's private. It's that people, and I know this is really something about the roleplay community. It says something about them probably that isn't very good. But people have gotten so used to people saying stuff to get attention.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And so I don't like to say, my son's having a seizure, I got to go, because they're going to be like, here's 2 violins, you're just making it up. Because there are people that do. Roleplay
Start a
community
GoFundMe page then.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't usually mention it unless I know the people.
Yeah, I tend to take the stuff at face value, because if they're lying, it's on them, not me. I don't really care myself, but I do understand exactly what you're saying. There are the attention whores out there, and there's just as there's a lot of introverts, there's a lot of look at me's. you know, which is also just another strange form of introversion that they crave attention regardless of if it's positive or negative.
Yes,
but that's another thing. But also, too, okay, so when you're trying to generate roleplay for yourself and others, it doesn't always need to be like a mega plot or a story to draw people in. Basically, an event, which is actually something I think we'll probably do on our next episode, is how to do and what to do, like events, like whether it's be combat or a tournament or, I don't know, hide and seek, whatever. An actual event where someone's almost DMing it. But you don't necessarily need plot and story for all these things. A lot of times, if you can just get the people to come out, and if they're just coming out to chit chat and talk and gather around the fireplace, children, it's story time. It's often just being in the presence of somebody and talking in character is a benefit all to itself, because you never know you don't really know what could happen, especially out in the public space. So it could advance or start a story or plot without even you knowing, like what happened with Kenix and Zabine. We had no intention of those two really hooking up or at whatsoever, and we have no idea even where it will go until we roleplay them next. I honestly have no plans whatsoever. I have no idea where it will go. We'll sit down, they'll meet together, it'll be awkward, probably.
It'll be a one-night stand,
depending on how well it went. Oh my! But damn it, Takei. But oftentimes the plot and story will just happens on its own. You don't, at the very least, even if nothing really significant happens, you're making connections. You may meet somebody, time and again at, like, if you go to the same bar that you may not even really be friends with, but your characters kind of chit chat, even offhandedly, and get to know each other a little bit. You just get to see other role players out in the community. Even when you don't talk to people when you're out and about like that, you being seen and you seeing others is a connection in its own, because when you start to see the same names over and over again, you really can start to notice who the regular people are, who the role players, and who's making the community up as you go. And even that it's a form of role play in of itself, that your character starts to notice these people, even if you haven't even talked to them. Just they could be role playing off in the corner somewhere else, all by them, with two people, and you happen to notice and you hear snippets of their conversation, and it's something that you might remember, a week or two later when you bump into them again. It's just
generating RP is, for some people, is really tricky, and for other people it's hard, and for other people it's impossible, and for others it's easy. So don't feel bad if you're having trouble, because a lot of people do. I think more people have trouble generating RP than actually don't have trouble generating RP. I don't, but I also have been doing it for 30 years. So,
yeah.
And I'm not a shy person. And I can imagine that if you were an introvert, that it would be really, really hard to just walk up to a bunch of strangers. Like, I'm in a guild that doesn't necessarily include people in their role play, and when they do include them, it's only as a degree away from the role play. So you are a bystander at best, maybe a helper, but you don't get to kill the bad guy. You're obviously not powerful enough to go after the big bad wizard. You can't possibly win, so you're going to have to let somebody else do that who obviously knows more than you, even though your character may be able to do it. And I understand why they do that, because it's their core group of role players that they are creating the RP for, and you're just kind of a bystander.
Yeah, and if you're joining a guild like that, you have to know that in advance. Like me personally, that sounds awful.
Yeah, and it is for a lot of people, but for me, because my character met them, and she just kind of inserts herself, pun intended, to anything that she stumbles across. And when they tell her, you can't possibly do this, you're not powerful enough, she was like, how do you know? I mean, she doesn't
Right.
back down. So, not only because my character is like that, but because I am like that, and I'm not going to necessarily just bug her off.
No, yeah, I don't let people tell me what my character can and can't do. Yeah.
But a lot of people would take that as you don't want me around, I'm not going to bother RPing with you, and that is what has happened, and I've watched it happen with a large amount of people that have interacted with this guild, because they just won't include people in the deeper parts of unless you arrange it previously. See, and I don't arrange anything. I don't here.
Yeah. I love random and freeform more than anything.
Right.
I mean, I'll set up events and stuff, but that itself, what happens within that is freeform. So
right, because I don't have any idea. I mean, I think this just boggles people's minds when you and I have done stuff, and people have said, "How could you let that happen?" And we're like, "You're under the impression we knew what the ending was going to be."
Yeah,
we had no idea how this was going to end.
I know
we had what we wanted.
Yeah, I have an idea in multiple branches in which it could go, and most of the time I've gotten good at this. One of my many branches will play out, but not always. And when that doesn't happen, gotta roll with it, Yep.
And I'm not gonna huff around butthurt because it didn't go the way I wanted, because I designed the role play to include everyone, and when there's that much randomness, you have no idea what's gonna happen.
Well, it sounds like somebody thrummed their
what was that?
I think Sid thrummed the spring on her
I
mic.
moved my mic a little. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It just had this. It was this weird boom. It sounded like a guitar. I thought Jazz had hit a guitar string in her room or something.
I thought one of you guys had hit a guitar string.
I just want the attention. I'm sorry. I want the attention. Pay attention to me.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
No.
that's funny.
No,
But-
I didn't realize it was gonna make a weird sound.
yeah, no, it sounded like a guitar. I really thought you had hit a guitar.
Mhm.
Okay, anyway.
Sorry.
All
I
right.
just
Wrote a song about it. Like
Sorry.
to hear it. Here it goes. Play it, Sib. All right. But yeah, see now that guild you're talking about, if it's strictly in character, I can totally do that. But if they tell you out of character that your character can't do that, that's I wouldn't be able to do that part for sure.
No, they're not saying it. That's the thing, is they
Okay.
don't say it. Oh, see. Well, they kind of do, but not directly.
Yeah.
They mostly just say it I see, and they say it over and over and over so that people get the point that this is going to be solved and always has been so far. Any big bad boss is taken down by one of the 5 main players in the guild. Always.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'm with you.
know,
That does sound awful.
if you're there, you pick up on that pretty quick. Now, me, I don't care that I'm a doll in their play, essentially,
Yeah.
because I have my own role play, and I
True.
generate my own role play, and I have my own role play stories, and, it doesn't bother me. But that kind of role play can really get on your nerves, and if it does and you don't feel included, then move on
Yeah.
and find another one.
Yeah.
But
Definitely. Yeah, and you can't, like I said, it's not something I would join, and I probably wouldn't even join them. But I also, if I did, I wouldn't then be like, well, that's bullshit. You got to change it for me. Well, if that's how they have their guild set up and people join understanding that, then
Yeah.
okay, well, that's
because
that's
you
their
figure
shtick.
out pretty quick that that's the way they're going to be, and I think that you either accept that or you don't.
Now, is this the
Um,
same guild that you were saying did that horrible roleplay thing?
Well, it wasn't horrible, but it was very, very
That was
long.
horrible. That was well, we got the story from Strafe. You can't backtrack on that.
No,
now.
it wasn't Strafe.
Oh, what-
You're throwing
No.
somebody under
What-
the bus
was
that
it-
wasn't there.
Who was
It
that?
wasn't Strafe.
Was it?
No,
Who was
it
I'm
was
that?
not saying.
That was somebody. I heard about it. It was awful.
you heard about it, yes, and some people felt that it was horrible because it
Yeah,
not
2 hours
only
to
were
get
they
to the
slow.
3 hours to
Yeah.
get to the point. 2 hours to get finished.
One of the storytellers in this group types very, very slow and must type 3 paragraphs
Right,
and
that's- see,
will not
that-
let
that's
anybody interrupt them or post anything
But it's not all of
relating
them.
to what they're talking. No, it's
Okay.
just a couple
Okay.
of them. And the second one is also very slow, but he doesn't care if you interrupt them. But this one is very much, and she's one of the leaders. And so when she says no posting until I finish, you seriously cannot, or that's, you'll get like 3 tells from all 3 of the others saying, shh, she's
Wait a
telling a
minute.
story.
They actually say that.
They
Mhm.
they
Right.
actually send you a tell and say you're not supposed to post until she's done posting.
Yeah.
Don't emote. Don't. I know.
Okay.
So, so I mean that's their style, and I'm not there to change their role play. This is just, and if it gets to the point where I don't like it, I'll leave. But for now, it doesn't bother me because it gives me the chance to have Cial be what I think she would be, which is a person lurking in the background, listening, taking notes, and possibly using it against them later, because that's who Cial is. Although they don't know that, she's collecting information to sell later. So
Yeah.
it totally fits in that she would just be a doll in their play and lurk in the background
Yeah,
and say,
and I
oh
can
yes, of
understand
course,
that.
he's
Yeah.
way too hard to kill. I understand. I'll just stand over here and watch you get hurt. That's
Right.
okay.
Yeah. See, I don't make a lot of characters like that. It's just- it drives me crazy. So
I think I purposely made her that way because I know that a lot of guilds, particularly in this game, are run this way.
Yeah.
And I would go crazy. But on
Right.
the other hand, of course, the guild that I am running on my other character, we have very little actual roleplay going on in our guild. We're mostly just friends, and we level, we play the game, and
Mhm.
we interact with each other in roleplay situations. And it's very casual because we all work way too hard for way too many hours.
Right.
So,
For way too little money.
yeah, for way, way too little money, damn it.
I will
So-
say though, whenever we do have RP in the guild,
Yes.
it
It's a
is
lot of fun.
nice.
We have a lot of fun
We
with
sit
roleplay.
around a fire. We sit around a bar. There's no plot story. We're just kind of hanging out, and just chatting.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's very relaxing and very fun. But I would like to see us have more larger scale, like what Xanis did. That was a lot of fun where we
Yeah.
went in and we
Which
did
I
that
need to
thing.
do more of that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you do it so well, and it was so much fun.
Aw, stop. Go on.
So,
I am one of the top 3 best event players in the entire server. So
well, you're definitely the best one in our little circle because you are very capable of weaving in a story, and at the same time including everyone, and nobody really feels like they're being left out. And if you do accidentally miss somebody, you'll say, oh hey, sorry, well, I'll get you next round.
Or I'll retcon it in, even if I have to.
Yeah.
I'll wedge your ass in there, you know. Treat you like Rosie O'Donnell trying to get into a pair of spandex pants if I have to. Your ass is getting in there.
You need to stop. You know that, right? You are bad.
My mind was going somewhere different with that. I was thinking all of us crammed into a phone booth, not Rosie O'Donnell, okay?
Gonna leave me here with less angry Rosie O'Donnell? Deadpool.
Yes,
but
that was really funny.
That was so good. You know what?
Such a bet.
You need to watch the outtakes for that, because he probably went through dozens of lines about that, just ad-libbing, and that was the one when he said that actress actually hit him in the face. She actually punched him for that one. You're gonna leave me here with less angry Rosie O'Donnell, and she actually. She slugged him right in the face, and he's like, oh my! He said that he actually broke character. He's like, oh my god, what's her name? I'm so sorry. It just came to my head, and that's the one they used. But she actually hit him for that, which is actually
totally
acceptable,
deserved.
Right?
Yes,
anyone compared
totally
to Rosie O'Donnell. But anyway, let's see here. Yeah, I like what. Archmage Cercia? Sorry, I'm terrible with pronouncing people's names. Says we need more Deckard Cain type characters in RP, which I'm sorry I say. I had to look it up because I don't play Diablo, but Deckard Cain is a scholar type character, which is actually true. There really aren't a lot of There aren't a lot of people that play really good scholar characters, unfortunately, in a lot of roleplay. The ones that do, they just either they don't have, like, it'd be like me playing it in a game I don't like, World of Warcraft. I don't know the lore. I would be terrible at it. But yeah, I could definitely go for more philosophical and elderly wizard type characters that, you know, can talk the talk and walk the walk like that. That'd be
and we have nice. We like to see that. I think we can probably do more. I want to see us doing more stories.
Yeah.
About, because we have such a rich story. I'm glad the way that I made Alana, because we can really fold it into a lot of stuff. But creating roleplay, which is what I did in the Silver Circle, as you remember, and that is what you did with me, and we busted our hump for years. Mm-hmm. And I'm a little tired, so yeah.
Well, so and I had EverQuest behind my back, under my belt already, so I already had I had the foundation, which made it easy for me. But yeah, it was nice.
It was, and you did a wonderful job. And I would like to see more of that in this game with other role players, not just us.
There's just so much damn lore in Elder Scrolls. It is taking. I still feel like I've got a good grasp on it now, but it's like tenuous, like fingertip grasp right now on the edge of the cliff. Just trying. I mean, I start role playing with some of these guys in the Dunmer Guild, and it's like they know the saints of the Dunmer. They know all these backstories. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you people are talking about, but that is impressive as hell.
I know. Yeah, that's one thing I really enjoy is hearing the lore. I know Strafei, his character, and Typhon. I've heard them sit down and talk about lore in the game, and that I enjoy. I really like to hear them talk about it because it helps me learn the game.
Yeah. Yeah, and moving on, what Jazz was saying too about the way I do my roleplay events, making everyone feel, no one gets left out. That's because when I do a roleplay event, like if in this case, my character wasn't actually there, so that made it a lot easier. I prefer my character actually not be there so that I don't have to roleplay as one of my characters while I'm doing all the NPCs and stuff. But when I do something like that, or when anytime I do an event, it's not about me. It's not me showing off how great my character is or this or that. I'm there so that everybody there feels like that they're in the spotlight and their character has given a chance to shine or show off or sacrifice themselves or do something cool, something heroic, or I guess depending on what the guild is, villainous, over the top. I always love giving people that chance to be to show off. Basically, I want everyone to be able to show off if they've got a special skill, if their character has a special talent, if there's something in their backstory that might come to play. Even if I don't know what it is, I try to do things so that they'll be able to use it, so that it may actually come into play, whether they're in a certain situation that seems hopeless and they can Naruto it or Goku it, or any anime reference you want to, and like pull their inner strength and increase their
Harry
level
Potter
of Harry Potter their strength, or pull out some new knowledge that they just learned that comes into play, like just like Harry Potter. Luckily he learned a spell earlier in the book that just happens to fit the bill for what happens at the end of the book, that kind of thing. But that's that it.
Well, I think you've
always
been
center
very,
on
very
them.
good at
I was
grabbing
going to
a
say,
hold of what each person does and what their story, and you tend to fold that in as you're even writing it, so that if this person shows up, they're going to be able to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
I'm not as good at that as you are. You are definitely really good at that.
Aww.
well, even in the last role play thing that you did, Ashton, your character didn't even go along.
Mm-mm.
You made up a reason for him to not.
Yeah,
even
the fact
go with
that he
us.
was Morag Tong and we were outside Morrowind, he wasn't allowed to kill anybody. So that's exactly why I made it outside Morrowind, so that it gave him an excuse to not be there. Yeah.
Which is important, because then you can be the storyteller and not.
Yep. Then I could throw on a black robe and change the hairstyle to something of a bowl cut and make an old wizard.
Yep.
As just ignore the name floating above the head.
Is that a bowl cut or a bald head?
It was a
thought
bald
it was
head. Yeah, it's a bald head. I just said bold. I got the B part right.
Oh, you said bold. I thought you said bowl.
Yeah, I did say bull.
Oh.
But which is what going into that, because it's not everything has to center on your character. It can't always center on your character. If everything's always centered on you, people they'll get bored of it, and they do notice that it might take a while, it might take weeks, it might take months, but eventually, if every time you show up to these things, you do something that forces the. Sorry, I keep hiccuping. There we go.
Yes, we all notice that very quickly. People notice every time you come to a role play event, you try to turn it into something about you, or you spend 5 minutes waxing on something that has nothing to do with this event at hand, but everything about your story. People notice that, so don't do that. Don't be that person.
Yeah. And welcome Thane Yuri Called. They just joined Twitch, so thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Welcome.
And Old Head Gamer, who's been talking in chat the whole time as well. Hey, Old Head.
Hello.
But it's.
I know that one.
Yeah, we do know that one. It's one of our friends. But after a while of doing that, it does run old. But honestly, you might be surprised how much fun it is and enjoyable it actually can be making content for others, so that they get to feel important and known.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, and they appreciate it, really. I mean, they may not all say it, and I'll be honest, like, it may not all go perfectly. I actually felt for a gal in our servants thing. She had just come back from Cuba, and she did a thing, but the whole point of it was supposed to be sort of a confusing roleplay session. Like, something was going on that was purposely confusing, and unfortunately it frustrated a couple people. And I mean, I was frustrated too, but I was frustrated in character. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I actually, and I figured out eventually what was going on, and so did some of the others. But before that happened, while the clues were still being laid, people got frustrated, and a couple of them actually kind of bailed on the RP partway through. I think 2 or 3 of them, which is unfortunate. And I understand, maybe something else had come up. I don't always assume that it's just the worst possible thing, which is, as human beings, very easy. It's always the worst possible thing. Always think the worst of everyone around you. Remember that. But even no matter what the reason was, having anybody have to leave suddenly in the middle of your role play, it stings a little. It kind of sucks. And I did feel bad for her, but I had to assure her after the fact. And I've butted heads with her before on certain aspects of roleplay, but she did a good job, and it was a lot of fun. You know, regardless if people got frustrated, that was kind of the point. It's supposed to be, you know.
Yeah.
But so we're gonna kind of start wrapping it up here because I know the girls got a raid to go to.
Yes,
But we still have a little bit to go here because one important, very important thing is don't complain when nothing ever happens, or don't complain that nothing ever happens in your guild or in roleplay, especially when you just don't do things with other people's when they're doing it. So if somebody says all the time, hey, I'm going to be here, or hey, I'm looking for roleplay, don't then be like, there's no roleplay going on here. Everybody's already done something else all the time, and nobody ever roleplays with me, because it's just, I'm so tired of this guild. You guys don't ever do anything.
It's a clique.
You're a clique. You're a cliche. That's when they spell it wrong. Sorry.
I always get a kick out of when people throw that out so casually that you're a clique because you didn't make a role just for them.
Right.
And they don't come and participate with you when you do create RP.
Yeah.
And when they do show up, they're just like, why isn't this about me? Well, because this doesn't have anything to do with you.
Because it's just about everybody.
Yeah, if you want it to be about you, then write a story about you and have us interact with you.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's really important.
Tia in the chat, what's the... Sorry, Tia, it's funny. The worst is when you call out an event and the one person you know won't come and doesn't come, and then right after the event asks where the roleplay is.
Yep.
Oh.
Go always. Fuck yourself.
Yep.
With a spoon sideways.
There's always one or two.
You know, and I understand, like that one guild, there's always like almost an event every night, and even I don't go to all of them. If I did, I'd never have anything else done in the game. But again, like after the event, I don't complain, or I don't, chit chat too much while the event's going on, because it's rude. And afterwards, if they get together, then maybe I'll show up if I've got chilled out or calmed down, or relaxed for the night, and I'm good to go, or I'm tired of leveling or whatever I'm doing. But yeah, don't do that. Don't be like, or in the middle of an event when it's already going on, anyone else want to role play that's not at the event?
Oh God, that makes me so mad.
Oh man,
if I have a pet peeve,
don't be that person. Just don't be that person.
So you take all this time and
kick a baby. Don't be that person.
And they don't come and they don't participate, and then like halfway through they're like, so who wants to come RP with me?
Yeah. Again, sideways this time with a rusty spoon.
And I know it's I kind of half understand why they do it, but don't be that.
Don't be that person. Yeah. But it comes off as childish, and it comes off as selfish, and it gets noticed. It does get noticed. It gets noticed not by, obviously, anybody that's been role-playing for a long time. Usually the guild leaders and officers, they notice the hell out of it because they're definitely mentioning it to each other to keep an eye out for it. And it does, after a while, starts to get noticed by individuals or anybody that's been around for a long, Yeah, and I agree with you, Tia. RP going out on outside of events or right after, but if you're already in role play and an event starts, that's totally, that happens. A lot of times that's why I don't go to an event, is because I'm already, role playing something else. Mm-hmm. I understand what you mean.
I mean, that's different. I have a different RP event to go to. That's cool. But it's when they don't come and then they call out for role play to come to them. Or they'll be like, you'll remember this. I remember this is one in particular that made Xana spit nails. We had this huge roleplay event that we had been, telling everyone about. There was more than one guild. It was a really big event. We had
it was multi-guild thing.
It was a huge thing. We had been planning it. It went off without a hitch. It went really, really well. And halfway through it, a person in our guild was kidnapped, who didn't attend, and wanted us to come save her.
Mm-hmm.
And
no, you're gonna go. We'll come find you about the 7th or 8th finger they mailed to us. I think that's the reply.
Yeah, something like that. I know, Xanis, but in our officer chat, I think all we got was just a bunch of nonsense type, because he just kind of hit his keyboard a couple times and hit
Yeah, I had
enter
no
because
keyboard
we
after
were
that
all
one.
so.
Gotta be.
You were so mad. Oh my! That was
Pretty sure the
before we all
words "you've got to
voiced.
be fucking kidding me" came out. Yeah.
Yeah, because we didn't have voice back then. We were all just text, and so I remember that, and I could imagine what was going through your.
Yeah. And Thane said he's actually he or she. Sorry, I don't know. I can't tell who's who or who you are, so I'm just gonna say he. I guess I should use gender neutral pronouns. They. Is that it? Is they a gender neutral one?
Yes, that's technically a gender neutral.
I am terrible at English. I'll be honest with you. It was one of my worst subjects, which is funny considering I write stuff now. But he says they say I've seen it happen many times, and a lot of the times it seems that there is also that one person who never even bothers reading things such as the MOTD.
Yes.
Or goes to the webpage that even goes as far as listing a week ahead of time. Yeah, they just like, I don't know, nothing's going on. I know you guys have a calendar that I never check, but what's going on today?
Yeah. Or they log in the middle of an event and they go, so what is this about? What's the backstory?
Yeah. Or
it's on the website.
Seriously says she was in a guild once where the official rule was that if your character got kidnapped, you were on your own. I think we did that eventually, didn't we?
Silver Circle eventually did that. We changed the amulet so that it would only keep track of your life signs, and unless your life signs were fluctuating, we would not intervene. Unless and if your life signs were fluctuating, the dragons would simply reach in, pluck you out, and throw you in a cell in the clinic to be seen to by the healer.
Yeah, it was. I understand it. It seems like that was a bit God money, but honestly, we were getting kidnapping plots 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah.
It was.
Oh my gosh!
It was getting really out of hand, and after I don't mind a good kidnapping plot if there's that second word involved in it, plot. If there's a reason for that to happen, not just because you were bored and thought, I could use some attention. It's usually the same person that we were talking about that needs attention. So I don't know how many times in a week someone can get kidnapped when you're 500 years old. You're not a kid anymore. You're just being napped.
And most of our role play was people who were monsters, so they were vampires, werewolves, demons. These were very strong creatures, and suddenly they were just miraculously overwhelmed and drug off. And then they were like, I don't understand why you don't think that I can be promoted. I mean, I worked really hard on my character. You've been kidnapped 4 times this month. You really expect us to make you the colonel?
We finally found a subject that gets Jazz to try to do voice impersonations.
There you go. You found my hot button. Congratulations. Oh, it just makes me so bad.
Yeah, that's the second one now we've pushed on. I forgot what the other one was that you were you're doing that on.
I'm sorry.
No, you're all right.
It's fine.
Like we said, we've been role playing for a long time, and the reason we do the podcast here is because we like to role play. We're passionate about it, but we've also seen both some of the best people that you could ever. I mean, creative people that would put some really well-known writers to shame just in their imaginative and their descriptors. They're just they're never going to get published. You're never going to know who they are, but we've met them. And they're fantastic people. And on the other side, we've met the ones that would probably sign their driver's license in crayon.
Yeah.
So.
And think that they are really good.
Oh yes, and insist that they are the best.
Top 3 best role players on the server. Am I right, Sib?
You're right.
Yeah.
It's so bad. We've got our kids saying that.
Yeah, they still do.
I can't remember what it was, but one of the boy was like, "Would you say you're the top best 3 of it?" And I'm like, "Oh my god."
He's one of the top 3 best baseball players in the majors. He's not in the majors. Yeah. But so that's kind of where we're at for generating role play. Make sure we got everything.
We kind of wandered all over the place.
But we hit the points for the most part, on our outline here. but I know it's getting a little late. We're going a little long on this one, which is fine usually. I do want to think we've actually had a decent number of people listening off and on throughout the thing, so a lot of new people, a lot of interaction, which is awesome. I appreciate T and Thane and Circe and Old Head Gamer and Archmage, and there's been a lot of people. Power That the Wizard, who's back at the beginning there. Appreciate you guys tuning into us live. If you haven't, go ahead. We'd appreciate a subscribe or a like or a follow or whatever it is you do on Twitch. We'll keep you up to date on. We do this every 2 weeks live, and the podcast usually goes up at iTunes, Google Play, or Podbeam. I think Stitcher is the other one. The day after, if you want to listen to it or get involved. You can always visit us at facebook.com/rpmmoradio or hit us up at Twitter at rpmmoradio. You can always go to our website too, which is rpmmoradio.com. We do have a Discord server if you'd like to join there. It'll always give you up-to-date information on anything we're doing. We've got a few different projects and things that we do here and there, usually cross-platform with rphq.org.
Yes,
Not
very
com.
good.
Yeah, sorry. I should say T2. I'm terrible at checking the Twitter. I'm not the best Twitterer, so I'm trying to check it more often, but I honestly don't know how the thing works that well. So I'm still learning. A lot of this is still work in progress. None of us have a radio background. None of us have anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
We're basically doing this off the seat of our pants and hoping for the best. And any suggestions that we get from you guys to make anything better or ideas of things you would like to hear us talk about, because we can talk about damn near anything.
Yeah, that's
we love suggestions.
We love suggestions. We still want to do a player spotlight on things. If there's any players that that you would love to, maybe have us talk about a little bit or get to, talk about, we were more than happy to do. You can actually email us too at rpmmoradio@gmail.com. If you want to do it anonymously, you can do that. I mean, I won't say your name if you don't tell me to. If you want to include your name and your server or game you play from, that's cool too. But yeah, just like us, follow us, subscribe, do all that crap that internet people always tell you to do when they're streaming. Stalk us. You feel free. It's basically what everyone asks you to do is go ahead, stalk me. You can just take a look at everything I'm doing. It's okay. Yeah. But no, I appreciate everybody tuning in. That's pretty much where we're at on generating that sort of role play. I think next time we'll probably go over doing events, mini stories, action scenes, both for and I don't know if we'll do one for in-game and the community at large. There's a lot of overlap in that, but there's definitely a lot of depends on how in the weeds you want us to get on technical aspects of running that, because there's some psychological things like how long to make which Jazz was saying earlier, a 5-hour roleplay session for an event with a lot of people is a long ass time to ask for. Usually 1 to 2 hours is about the limit of where you start to lose people, that kind of thing. So we can go into that, but that'll be our next episode in about 2 weeks. So, of course, I am Ashen Phoenix, and the two ladies, Sib and Jazz. Appreciate you guys joining me as always.
Have fun, guys.
Let's see here. Outro. There we go. So, like I said, appreciate everybody. Thank you all that you joined us live, and everybody that will listen to it on the podcast. After the fact, appreciate it. Love you guys. Have a good night.
The thoughts and opinions expressed by RPMMO Radio are just that, and should not be taken as the gospel truth, but pretty close to it. Music provided by Husky by the Geek. Visit him at youtube.com/HuskyByTheGeek to hear all his great rock covers.